Welcome to my video on how to combine and separate data cells in an Excel workbook. I will start by combining cells, also called concatenation. Here I have an example data file for donations. In order to concatenate the first three columns to create the complete name, start by clicking in the destination cell that you want the data to go into. Start the formula by typing equals, and then you're able to either type A5, arrow over to it, or click on it with your mouse, do the ampersand symbol, double quote, space, double quote, ampersand, the first name, ampersand, quote, space, quote, ampersand, the last name. And what these spaces are doing is making it so when we combine the cells, it's not going to combine with one word. We're putting the space in between the Miss, first name, and last name. So there we go, pretty simple. We have Miss Melinda Martin now in one cell. So text concatenation is pretty simple, but adding a number is a little more complex. So let's look at adding, if I want to say who donated what on each line. So right now I have the names, and then I'm just going to do another ampersand, and I want to add a word in the expression. I'm going to do the double quote, space, donated, space, double quote. And anytime you can add a word in that's not already typed into a cell by doing that in the formula. Ampersand, and then text, parenthesis, and the value that I want. I want the donation column here, so I'm just going to click on that, comma, and then the format of the text. In this case, you always want to make sure that you're doing quotes around it, so quote, and it's a dollars in this case, and then number sign, comma, number sign, 0. This is telling me that it's going to go into thousands in the format. If I were to stop here and do another double quote and a parenthesis and hit enter, it's going to round to the nearest dollar. Miss Melinda Martin donated $39. Well, in this case, I want to know exactly how much each person donated. So if we want to do 2 decimal places, all I have to do is note that in the formula by doing 0.00. Now it's going to keep the 2 decimal places. I want to copy this down. If you like using the mouse, there is a box in the corner, double click on it, and it will bring it down and show you how much each person donated. You can also use the keyboard in order to Control C, hold Shift, scroll down, and hit enter. There you go, that is concatenation, putting cells together into one cell. Now let's switch into looking at separating one cell into multiple cells of data using the text to columns function. What we're going to do here is start by adding, which I've already done, blank cells next to the text that we're going to separate, which is the name in this case. Here I have the title, first name, and last name, so I will need 3 destination cells total. And I can do this counting this column and then the additional 2. Select the cells either with your mouse, or if you have a longer set of data, it's useful to just use Control Shift and the down arrow to automatically select the data. We're going to go up to the ribbon, select Data, and under Data Tools section, the Text to Column button. This window will pop up and we'll want delimited. Fixed width is going to be a specific amount of space in between each word, which can be hard with names with different lengths at cutting it at exactly this much space and this much space. So this is going to recognize characters in between the data we want to separate. Now in this case, every time there's a space, I want that separated into a new cell, the next set of data. So I'm going to do it by spaces. So if I look at the data right now, that's exactly how I want it, title, first name, last name. Hit next. Here you can do some advanced options like changing the column data format. I'm going to keep that on general and just click finish. And there you go, we have it separated out into the different parts of the name now. Now in this case here, I'm going to do Control-Shift down arrow once again to select that and go back up to text to columns. Once again on delimited, and this time we have a comma. And there's also a space in the data. If I just did comma, then there would be a space before each first name in the cell, which would throw off the data a bit. So we're going to say that there's both a comma and a space between the data we want to separate. So the two columns I have here looks good in the preview. At any time, if it's like a period separating it, you can also do other with that. Click Next. Once again, leave everything how it is and click Finish. And there you go. You have the names now separated out so you can do as you please with them. Thank you for watching and learning how to combine and separate data in an Excel spreadsheet.